not testifying like she agreed. I have talked to close people around her that's verified, oh, she's going to testify. Bortlen decided when he was on bond to hit the bitch up, send her a few messages. You better not testify. If you was more loyal, you would be riding Pink Bitney and all this other shit. Well, Bortlen got arrested for that this well too. They want Melly so bad because they know Bortlen wasn't the shooter that they allowed Bortlen to plead no contest, which was a slick ass way of basically what we want you to do is corroborate what we want to prove in this courtroom. And the main thing we want to prove in this courtroom is going to go directly against them is that Melly was not there. But we have Mariah about to take this stand and admit to the fact, not even with just what we could prove. We're going to prove that Melly was there with our evidence and shit. But we're going to extra prove, shout out to the $10 chime, by putting Mariah on that stand and admitting to those phone calls, that FaceTime that happened that would place Melly at that scene. Because how did the FaceTime happen if you weren't at that scene? Somebody called you, motherfucker, and we believe it was you. But without Mariah, they only had circumstantial evidence of, damn, we know the phone rang, we know it was Melly, we know it was a FaceTime, but how can we actually, without a shadow of a doubt, prove that Melly face was on that motherfucking phone? That's where Mariah comes in at. The defense is going to say she ran, we don't believe her. How are we supposed to believe her? Bortlen ain't a snitch. He didn't technically snitch. I'm breaking down what's going on. Shout out to Eric Chamberlain for the $5. We $960 away. I'm breaking down what's going on. That's where the witness tampering shit come in at. Because Bortlen hit her up and was saying, you better not testify. If you was more loyal.
I bet, y'all.
All that evidence that they fucked him guilty on in the court, in the trial. Ooh, we just get started, baby. Can I cook, nigga?
I wish you would say something.
But he got found guilty on it. He got found guilty on it. You see what I'm saying? Why are you even worried about her if he ain't did nothing? Why are you worried about her? You see what I'm saying? So they're going to use what Bortlen said to her while she's on the stand. And she's going to say, yeah, Bortlen hit me up. He threatened me not to testify. Why would you do all that if you ain't did nothing? Now remind y'all, they still got evidence of the gun case, the shit, all this shit.
What gun? If they had the guns and Melly case, that murder case, then Melly would be fucking booked and cooked already. It wouldn't be none of this. So what guns could they possibly have? I'm confused.
So what they did, dummy in the trick bag. Right. So what happened was when the prosecution arrested Mariah, they came up with a game plan. They said, listen, we had enough to get this nigga, but we want to dot our I's and cross our T's. What is the best way we could dot our I's and cross our T's? Now we have Mariah in custody, and now we know she's going to agree to testify. But then the thing was getting her to agree to testify. She's agreed. The news is going to hit. She's agreed. She's agreed.
Man, listen. I don't know if I'm about to let this video ride out.
We need to go to Bortlen because we have witness tampering on Mariah, and we need to present that in court. But how are we going to get Bortlen to corroborate if he don't want to say nothing? Okay, fine. This is how we're going to get Bortlen to corroborate if he don't want to say nothing. We're going to offer him a proffer. He can repeat everything that nigga told us at the beginning.
For sure.
That's fine. We're going to take those 2 murders off. We want him to, and we're going to form it in a way to where can't nobody says he's a snitch. Because if he pleads guilty, then he's basically admitting guilt. And
but if he cop his plea and just go ahead and take his time and get out of there, he might don't have to testify. He already been sentenced. There wouldn't be nothing else they could do. I mean, that's how I would think it would.
If he pleads not guilty, well, we fucked up. We need him guilty on the tampers with a witness charge. We need him guilty on fucking with Mariah. Our star witness that we're going to bring on this. Oh, we're getting Melly this time. Our star witness. How about we offer the format that he could plead no contest and the judge will find him guilty? That way it protects him from being called a snitch. It protects him from folding on this boy. And we get.
But for the last 2-3 days, bro been screaming how this man was a snitch. Melly was getting flushed down the river. Now all of a sudden you trying to give yourself and this guy a way out, a backdoor out by saying, oh, he's not a snitch. They try to word it this way, that way, or the third. Nigga, either he snitched or he did.
What we want. We need a guilty verdict. Fuck the murders. Fuck everything. Shout out to DeAndre Washington for the $15. We $945 away. We need a guilty verdict on that motherfucking witness tampering. Bortlen lawyers came to him with this shit too. Look, you want to save yourself and not fold on Melly at the same time? We have ways. It's called loopholes. Just plead no contest. The judge is going to find you guilty, but long as you plead no contest, I'll come out if people say you a stick. We will protect your name that you did not tell, because this is not about the murders anymore. They want you to plead no contest so they can use everything you did to Mariah on this in trial when she gets on that motherfucking
I mean, okay, working the double back door instead of throwing Bortlen on the stand and forcing Bortlen to testify. We'll throw the girl who Bortlen tampered with as far as threatening her on the stand, and then have her snitch on Bortlen, which will make us be able to say, why did Bortlen do all this? Okay, but I don't think somebody in the family told him that. I think that's something that Track told him, because that's just how I feel about shit.
When she takes that stand. This is how Bortlen's not a snitch, technically. This is how Bortlen is in a tattletale legally. He's not. But this is how the defense gets slick with shit and be like, you know what? Shit, we gonna save my client. Fuck him and her. So now when Mariah gets on that stand because she was arrested, hold on, let me make sure you guys don't understand something. YNW Melly girlfriend. I don't want y'all to think I'm making nothing up. Or get the lights up, y'all.
Man.
Earlier this year, at the beginning of this year, Mariah Hamilton, the ex-girlfriend of rapper YNW Melly, was arrested after re-entering the U.S. amid unresolved legal issues. Hamilton was booked in Broward County Jail on Wednesday, according to official files. She was arrested after
re-entering. So what she got? Deported? Where the fuck is she from?
failing to appear as a witness in Melly's first murder trial, which ended in a mistrial 2023. Hamilton faces scrutiny for not appearing at the trial and for possible witness tampering. Prosecutors allege that Melly's associates attempted to influence her testimony, while Hamilton claims law enforcement threatened her to provide information. Well, I got confirmation she's taking a stand and doing what she was supposed to do.
So imagine getting pressed out by the people you're supposed to testify against and the people who want you to testify. law enforcement threatened her if she didn't provide information, and then the niggas threatened her if she did provide information. Yeah, she left the country.
In people's eyes the whole time. She's going to admit.
I wonder if Track 100 helped her leave the country. Because Track changed his name from Francois to some other shit. He's from Haiti or out of the United States. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if he helped her get out the country.
To the phone calls. She's going to admit that it was Melly behind that FaceTime, and she's going to admit whatever she wants. She does not want to go to jail again. She does not want to go through this shit again. And people have convinced her that she would not be in this shit. And why are you loyal to a nigga who did you wrong, played you to the left, and ain't even your nigga no more? And he got you in this shit. So when they arrested her ass, they put her on house arrest. She had a very long time to think. And I'm telling y'all now, that is going to come out that Mariah Hamilton is going to agree to testify and not bullshit on the stand neither. She's going to tell them people whatever the fuck they want to know. She's not pleading no fifth.
Mind y'all, none of this ain't happened yet, and we don't know. That young lady could get up there and say whatever the fuck she want to say. Bortlen still could say whatever he said, do whatever he got to do. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But I tell you what, it's going to be crazy to see, man.
She's not doing that.
How tough is that friendship?
She's not doing that. They know she's not doing that. So from them not knowing she's not doing that, they want to make her the best witness possible. Because what is the defense going to do? The defense is going to try to tear through her story. Well, it's fucked up when you have a Bortlen that tried to influence her from not testifying. And they have evidence of that. So what do? How do you make your star witness look like she's telling the truth? Well, Bortlen threatened her. We got the information and the evidence, but Bortlen's trial is after. So, Bortlen, this is what we need from you because we want this nigga cooked. When we bring Mariah on this stand,
hold the fuck up. What he saying?
We want to.
Oh, he's saying that's what the judge was saying.
Every detail. But
hey, hold up. This nigga be trying to say that fucking YNW Melly like his long distance cousin and shit, some shit like that. But you be sitting up here, y'all, like, I don't know, man. That clout something crazy. That ain't clout. That's his job. You know what I'm saying?
We can't quite do it if you're pleading not guilty. We have to find you guilty. We have to find you guilty. But the problem is that your trial is after Melly's. How can we find you guilty? So we got to come up with a way to jump in front. We need this witness tampering shit to jump in front.
Yeah. Now that makes sense.
Of Melly's trial because yours is after.
I give his greasy lip ass that. That makes sense. We do need you to get in front of Melly trial so we can use you to find Melly guilty. But how do we do that? Well, if we bring that girl to court for her shit, which is separate from this, but while she's on the stand, we press her about it and force her to bring Bortlen up. Then we could go ahead on and get Bortlen seen, basically get him a court date before that situation.
Let's come up with a game plan. What are we supposed to do? Well, Bortlen isn't agreeing to help us. He isn't agreeing to cooperate. He isn't agreeing to do shit. We need to figure out a way for this man to, even if we got to trick him, fuck it. Let's knock off the 2 murder charges, man.
I mean, but look though, I don't know if they was tricking him, much less just saying, "Oh man, what's the sweetest deal we could get this nigga?" Because from 5 life sentences and 75 years to 16 years, time served included. Man, that would have been no trick. It probably 98.5% of niggas would have took that shit with no problem.
Let's knock them off, but we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it. And let's focus on this witness tampering and accessory after the fact.
All right.
Why do they need accessory after the fact so much? Well, because he was riding around with the dead bodies. They need to establish that because the cell phone, since the cell phone was in the van and Bortlen was in the van, we're not even going to worry if you was there doing the murder. We just want to worry what happened after the murder. And we know that Melly made a phone.
Mind y'all, the dude Track 100 I was talking about, he the one who gave the police Melly phone
call around the same time when we know you was riding around with these bodies for an hour. So
I'm saying he rode around with them for an hour after they were shot. If I'm not mistaken, they had some headshots, but he totally didn't give them no chance to survive. He just like drove around with them till they all the way, passed away type shit.
Right after that phone call, you left, he left. Since you had them bodies, we want you to plead guilty to that. Why? Because we're going to prove that it was that man behind that motherfucking FaceTime that called this girl. Because his lawyers have said it wasn't him, he wasn't there. Hell, they even said it could have been you who made the FaceTime call to Mariah. No.
How the fuck is they going to prove who was on a FaceTime call? How is they going to prove that? Now, Lil Durk, the Lil Durk situation, OTF Vonnie Father, he keeps saying that they can watch your fucking FaceTime calls. He must have heard something in one of these trials that got that stuck in his head. Same shit happened with me. I went to, a trial and I seen that they had, and this was damn near about 6 years ago now, but I seen that they had Facebook and Instagram forensics officers. So they probably can see your FaceTime. You think you on FaceTime and you talking that shit, they probably can see and listen to it.
No. The only evidence we have is from Melly's phone, there was a FaceTime made to Mariah's phone. We need Mariah to agree it was her on one end. Even though we could prove it, we want better than that. And we want to prove that it was Melly on the other end. Well, how could it be Melly on the other end if he wasn't there? So if you're accessory to active fact, plead guilty to that, and we could prove that Melly was still with you, because we're going to mesh this shit together of the witness tampering.
I mean, but if you tampering with the witness, you kind of already admitted your guilt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, if it's a bad situation and somebody just absolutely flat out lying on you and you don't say nothing, that's kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? But in a situation like this, to go risk everything, including freedom, to go tamper with the witness, for you to go to that extreme, it kind of proves your guilt to me.
Mariah, who called you from area code Melly? Cool. They got the towers, the location of the towers. Cool. Mariah, who threatened you not to come to court to testify? Bortlen. The defense. How would y'all believe her? Sir, we already got a guilty verdict by Bortlen plead no contest. The judge found him guilty, so we can use all the evidence that we had of him witness tampering in the trial right now. Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, Exhibit D. Now, if this man ain't did nothing, why is his homie trying to get this woman?
What if they got the text message? Now, did he fucking threaten her through text message? Because if they got the text message and he's saying certain shit in the text message, that text message shit is crunchy, man. Put nothing in the text. To not
tell y'all the same information that she's telling y'all right now.
Nothing in the text message, trust me.
And we got proof that Melly sent the kite through somebody to him, and we're going to use all this evidence. Why would Melly right there send a kite to a nigga and then he send the shit to Bortlen to tamper with her?
Yeah, hey, listen.
The same person that could say FaceTime him what?
When he be cooking, I give him that. That's why I be watching this show. But other than that, I still think I might check out, you know what I'm saying? If y'all stick around for a little while, we might just go ahead and check out K Academics too. Academics got a different point of view with a whole different set of information.
Right after the murders. Oh, and if he FaceTimed her right after the murders, then he was in the location that he lied about. He was there instead of where the fuck he said he was. So his defensive strategy is done. Now, Melly is getting a win of this. Oh, I got to fire all these niggas. Y'all ain't for this shit because we can't use the same shit we just used. So all y'all got to go.
They did say Melly got
That's why Melly fired his lawyers too, because they can't use nothing of that because Melly know Mariah coming to testify too. Bortlen knew it too. That's why he hit her up. Once
Bortlen
Mariah
knew too.
got
That's
arrested,
why he hurried up and took that cop. That's why he hurried up and took that cop, because if she come in there and say what he really was saying to her, the shit that they don't know,
done.
That shit probably would have got him cooked more than that little time he took for that cop.
It was done.
All right. We're going to compare what you saying.
So all this is called dot I's and crossing T's. They already got all the evidence they got. But this time they're going to try with Mariah and guilty verdict evidence from accessory after the fact and tamper with a witness. And they're going to bring that up in trial. And I believe, from what I was told from the person, that the prosecution believes that is going to be enough on top of everything that they showed. When you add Mariah these two things that they could put in this trial, fuck the proffer. It don't matter. They don't care.
So
Melly is done.
So if I'm picking up what a nigga is saying, the prosecution is about to come with the same shit they came with the first time. They got the hung jury, but add on top of that the tamper with the witness shit. Do I think that's going to be enough? I mean, they did say he had 11 out of 12 jurors find him guilty. One juror kept him from being found guilty. So, I mean, they going to run it back with the same exact attack. Same information, nothing new, because he been locked up the whole time since then. Same information, nothing new. But the only thing they add is the tampering with the witness shit. I don't know. So reach.
Where the fuck have y'all heard this from? Can I get a like button? Where the donations? Where is something? Y'all don't have to be confused no more, baby, because the king is going to always come to set this shit on straight. AK, they need Bortlen to plead if they already got temporary evidence. Bortlen pled no contest, and the judge found him guilty to tamper with evidence. Yeah. Look, bro, what did Bortlen plead guilty to? And when I show you this, don't say nothing else. What did Bortlen plead to? He didn't plead guilty, but what did he plead to? He pleaded no contest. Bortlen pleaded no contest to charge that include tampering with the witness. That's Mariah, and being accessory to a capital felony.
But not murder.
They can use, since the judge found him guilty, this is not in the proffer. Since the judge found him guilty, they can use all the evidence that they have in this new trial of finding him guilty when it comes to being accessory and when it comes to
so listen, that's what I'm saying. This what I'm saying. So when I said on this nigga channel something about the Big Mike and King Von shit, he had a good point. Who was the witness? The witnesses got killed. That's why King Von. The witnesses did get killed. They don't matter. The last witness they had, he decided that he put himself on the stand and he retracted his own statement. King Von never put himself on the stand. Melly the scene. Melly hasn't put himself on the scene. You know what I'm saying? He's always denied being there. He whatever he done had to say. But if Bortlen already caught to accessory after the fact of riding with those bodies, if they get up there with the same shit, it looked like it could be the same type of situation to me.
Mariah. They needed to find him guilty on the tamper with evidence and that to make objection hearsay. Objection hearsay? What do you mean objection hearsay? Nigga, Mariah is a witness, nigga. They got Bortlen on a guilty verdict, and they're going to show the jury that Bortlen was witness of tampering this
How the
girl.
fuck did she become?
They couldn't show it until they had a guilty verdict on the nigga or something. Because that kind of didn't have nothing to do. You see what I'm saying? This is just how bad they want Melly.
Yeah. Hey, you could tell they want Melly as cook, man.
Oh my God, nigga said cap.
They want Melly cook so bad that they willing to let his man go. We gonna erase the 2 murders off you because we know you didn't kill him. We know you did. We gonna give you the accessory and the tampering with the witness shit, and we gonna give you 16 years with time served. But by you pleading guilty to this, I don't know, man. I'm saying if they coming with the same prosecutor attack plan that they came with, they did have 11 out of 12, so maybe they banking on this last one being 12 out of 12. So I don't know. 11 out of 12 jurors found the man guilty.
Hey, listen, if you got a brain, just follow along with me, man. If you ain't got no brain, you don't have to. Can I ask y'all a question? And listen, man, I was told this. Hey, listen, I just want y'all to figure out something. Notice who all came to my channel before. AK, so you saying that people can't be convicted on evidence unless they admit it? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, Bortlen's
spit that shit out.
Court date is after Melly's. What they wanted was the tampering with the evidence shit before Melly's. Remember, Bortlen is second, Melly is first. They got Mariah, they arrested her.
Hello.
They want her to take the stand.
Hey, you know what? Hold on. Fuck all that, brother. Talking with them. Man, y'all, I'm finna cut on academics because academics actually was like getting to the shits, brother. Like all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing wrong with this content though. He be doing this thing. I just ain't got time for it right now. I don't know, man. When I get a little bit lit, I be trying to like hear what I'm trying to hear. All that other shit be like in my way. Spit that shit out, man. There you go. Yeah.
He's talking to an investigator. That's an interrogation. It's not a proffer agreement. A proffer agreement, there's, well, in this, even shot through the seat multiple times, and there was no defense. Okay? YNW Melly, you guys all know him. He was arrested, I believe, late 2018, or maybe early 2019. I believe it was 2018. I'll confirm now. When was YNW Melly arrested? He was arrested February 2018. The murder allegedly happened in 2018. To put,
You see, motherfucker, academics be
this
kind
in
of like
perspective,
more police.
I'm going to go over everything. And I'm just following sequentially.
We'll shoot AK some love with that. He not as policey as academics. Academics on this policey shit.
Make it really simple. YNW Melly is accused of murdering his 2 close friends. His friends he sang on a hit song. He sang about a hit song called Butter Pecan. He says, I'm with Sack and Juvie. Okay?
About 3 friends.
YNW Sack Chaser, YNW Juvie. Okay? They all were in a studio.
Hey, Mo, just think about it, though. Because I know some little niggas that be on Damon Time, too, right? But a little ass nigga like that and what they accusing him of, bro. Look at this nigga, bro. Cannot underestimate nobody.
They get in the car. In the front driver position was YNW Bortlen.
Okay.
In the right passenger, front passenger, and the back, what do you call it again? The back right passenger were Sack Chaser and Juvie. According to prosecutors, Melly was seated behind the driver. On video,
This my whole thing about the shit is this. When a gun go off in a closed space, it's super loud. Going off inside the car, like if a nigga is sitting behind you and he just get the bus and not the gun hanging out the car shooting at somebody else. Inside the car, man, how this nigga didn't crash?
He's captured getting into the car behind the driver. What police knew afterwards is that Bortlen, the driver, showed up to the hospital with 2 dead bodies. The body.
And then how you ride around for an hour? That mean he probably didn't ride around for an hour. It's probably just he took him far out, an hour out, and then did that shit to him.
Bodies of the guy in the right front seat and the back right seat. It became and was alleged by the police that Melly, at some point during the drive, took out a gun, shot the guy in the right passenger front seat, and shot the guy to the right of him. The bullets that went forward.
I don't think it was during the drive, man. I'm thinking they had to stop somewhere. And they stopped, he got out, they was asleep, and then he did that shit. But I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe that during the drive. I don't know, bro. This shit, it's a crazy
it's almost alleged that these guys were either sleeping or something of the sort. It was a late night. They were leaving the studio. He even shot through the seat multiple times, and there was no defense wounds to be like, stop. You get me? It was that quick. Bang, bang.
How the fuck do you just sit in the driver's seat while the nigga behind you is killing the nigga beside you and beside him? Bro, I would have hopped out and took off so fast. That's why I say in order for this nigga to have to ride all the way back with the bodies to the hospital, wherever they was at, he probably couldn't have walked or ran from. They probably had their ass out far somewhere or some goofy shit for this nigga to. Your only way back to civilization was in the car with the bodies.
Bang, 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 bang. That quick. When Bortlen shows up to the hospital, Melly's not in the car. They started an investigation.
The police. That's red flag number 1 right there, though. You know what I'm saying? That's red flag number 1 right there. Oh, y'all just left the damn studio together, getting in the car, and then some shit like this happened. Niggas pull up. You the only one out there. He should have went somewhere and shot himself in the leg or something. In the leg or the arm, so it could look like he got hit up too, type shit.
Police ask what happened. There's actually gruesome video of them taking the bodies out of the car. By the way, by the time they got to the police station, it was corpses. They weren't fighting for their life. They were dead.
So did they go to did he take them to the police station or to the hospital?
Police asked him what happened. He says, and that's Bortlen they ask. I'll show you Bortlen on the screen. This is him in current day. He said, I was driving and someone pulled up and shot at us. Sounded like a drive-by. My friends got killed. The police obviously realized that now it's a crime scene. They quarantined the car. He's not hit. They asked him if he's hit. The doctors check him out real quick. He's not hit. They ask him, what happened? He said,
"Hey, both of they ass supposed to been on that joint going like scream at the end, sticking each other or something with the knife. They supposed to been, take a leg shot, arm shot.
Got shot at. The detectives, so the police is there. They call over the detectives who's working that shift. They come over. Crime scene's hot. The car is a crime scene. They tape it around. And they said, where did you get shot? Because we can find more evidence. Who did this? He says, I don't know. Says, what do you know? Says, well, a car just pulled up and shot at us. The cop says, I know this is distraught. You're distraught, but we got to figure out some stuff. He seems calm enough to help them. And they say, will you show us where you got shot at? He says, yes. He got in the car, the cop car, front seat with the cop, and the cop drove to a location where he claimed the shooting happened.
Hmm.
They mark the spot.
So that's what I'm
They
saying.
bring back to the hospital. They bring to the interrogation room.
Wherever this location was, I don't think bruh was just sitting in the car when he did this shit. I think bruh popped that door open. Them niggas was sleep in the car. They probably stopped somewhere, drove somewhere while they was sleeping, not paying attention, opened the door and flushed them. You know what I'm saying? But then too, he went and changed his clothes, because if you is sitting beside the nigga and you just shot him, I'm sure you got some blood and shit all over you.
But they start canvassing the spot. They can't find anything that showed there was a shooting there. No broken glass, no
shit.
spent shells. They can't find any evidence.
Okay.
That becomes suspicious. It also becomes suspicious with certain things with his demeanor.
It been suspicious.
They figure something is up.
When you pulled up with 2 dead bodies, talk about somebody pulled up next to y'all, start shooting a drive-by, and you ain't got one bullet hold on you. Oh, it been suspicious. It been suspicious.
What later happened is they realized a few things. When they asked where were y'all originating from, it became obvious, talking to multiple people and him, they came from a studio. They got the surveillance footage of the studio.
See,
4 people entered like a SUV, but only 3 individuals showed up to the hospital. Where's the 4th? The 4th is Melly. They asked him about.
Because it's crazy to me because a motherfucker, a good actor, a good athlete, a good musician or entertainer, it'd be hard for people to believe that they do wrong. You know what I'm saying? I think if this real life was any regular person in this situation, you hopped in the car with your homeboys, somehow they wind up getting shot and deleted, and you not in the car no more, and this guy just pulls up to the police station or the hospital, wherever, I really think he would have been shot by the police pulling up with them bodies like that. And I think they would have been sentenced these guys a long time ago. All this sitting around for years and shit. This is some rapper treatment ass shit.
Melly, he was very we dropped him off where somebody just picked him up. He was very vague. At some point, Melly had gotten out of the car.
For sure.
And it supposedly went home.
Nigga,
Melly made some phone calls to her girlfriend,
from head to toe. Hold on,
which allegedly the cops felt like they had confessed to the girlfriend that, oh, so-and-so happened. Anyway, and I know I'm walking you through this really gingerly, but I have to explain why these charges are coming and why we're here. Because this has been 7 years in the making. This murder took place in 2018. It's 2025. This is 7 years after the fact, 6 years after the arrest of YNW Melly, and there is no adjudication. Adjudication means that it is not determined by the court, or there's no disposition on the charges. Is it a guilty plea or not guilty plea? A guilty verdict? Is he acquitted? And there has been no plea until today that was taken by any of the defendants. So at first, they want Melly. They believe Melly's the shooter. They take the car in. They realize that there's spent shells in the car. I don't know if you guys know how weapons work. When you shoot a gun, a normal, unless it's like a revolver or something like that, or something that has a spent shell catcher, which usually is most likely AR or Draco or something like that, because you can attach it easier. It looks goofy on a handgun. When you shoot that thing, the bullet usually flies out to the left.
Shell flies.
Not only to the left, it usually flies out in close proximity of where the shooter would be. They found spent shells in the car. Now that defeated the entire theory that Bortlen told them that they got shot up by another car.
I mean, they could have said they were shooting back.
If you got shot up by another car, there wouldn't be spent shells in your car unless you fire back. Yeah. They matched the ballistics, the bullets. They realized that it appears that the bullets that killed these men and the trajectory of how the bullets traveled, it went through the seats, went up in one of the
Dang.
guys, came out here. One of them, I think it went through his chin, whatever.
Dang.
It was determined that those bullets were fired in the car, not from someone else. Now, there were some other bullets. There was some bullets that was found in the car that was going into the car, but
Yeah.
those.
So what they did was afterwards, and I really think, let's go with the driving theory. If he was the driver and he did this while they was driving, the only reason he is alive is because he was driving. You can't shoot the driver while he's driving. He's gonna crash. You know what I'm saying?
By a pathologist and also the coroner, those were not the fatal bullets. Actually, it was deemed that those bullets were fired after the guys were already dead. What did the cops take from this detective?
So deleted though, shot the whole situation up, and then shot the car up some more. I'm guessing while they're in the car still, which will mean you shot them some more after already deleting them. This is why they look to give Melly as the death penalty.
They said someone committed murder in the car and then tried to stage a drive-by when the people were already dead.
See what I'm saying? I doubt if you took them out the car to shoot the car up to fake the drive-by. So that means after you deleted them, you got wherever you was going to stage this drive-by to shoot the car up. So you shot up the already deceased friends. And yeah, his ass probably do need to get the needle, man. I'm just being honest.
The cops later find...
I'm a fan of YNW Melly's music. That's why I say. But the more you got to think, it's a lot of shit we not hearing too. But when you put two and two together, like I just said, if they already deleted these guys and now they got to stage the drive-by, that mean they about to shoot the cop again while those guys is in it. So they shot them up a bunch of times, man, deleting them and then shooting the deleted bodies. Melly ass, I'm sorry to say, man, I'm not even sorry to say, he should get, if he is found guilty, if this is really what happened, yeah, he probably is going to get the death penalty. You feel?
Where, based on GPS triangulation, because the great thing about this crime, everybody had cell phones in their pocket, including the dead people. So they were able to triangulate where that car went at certain points.
Dang.
So they have a location where the shooting or the drive-by took place. That's where Bortlen said. That turned out to not be true based on evidence. And then the car went and stopped at another place. And after that place, that's when it went to the hospital. Actually, it might have been two places because one was a drop-off location for Melly.
They did say that, what that nigga name? Fredo Bang was the one who came and picked Melly up after. So I wonder how come Fredo Bang name ain't been brought into the court shit.
And then the other place was the staging of the spot of the shooting, then the hospital. When they went to the place that they realized it was triangulated to and they stayed there for a while, they found broken glass and debris that was consistent with that car of that color being shot. So it furthered their theory that someone killed their friends, and not killed their friends, but these guys got killed, and someone brought it to somewhere else to do a cover-up to claim it's a drive-by by shooting into a car where people are already dead.
Dang. See, he put the same thing up I said.
Okay. They have GPS, bullet fragments from my...
Mind you, this is a blind reaction. So, yeah, I was spot on when I just said that because even academics just said the same thing about shooting a car with the bodies in it. That's like some extra heinous shit, bro.
Recollection, didn't find the gun, but they have everything else. They pretty much have a solid case on a forensic level but they lack things on a fundamental level to
What?
make this case go. I'll tell you what they lack. I know this might sound like we're quoting the movies here, but in trying to prove murder, especially something that carries life, and in Florida State, premeditated murder, automatic life. Down south, usually premeditated murder, first degree, automatic life, or sometimes it carries the possibility of a death sentence.
Yeah, they gonna stick.
What that means is that a jury is usually going to look at not only if you did the killing, but they want more than that. Why would you do the killing? So this case lacked motive. To this day, we don't know why the hell would Melly want to kill his friends. We've heard several theories floated out there. Oh, they threatened his mom. Oh, they were going to do something to him because he was robbing them. We've heard so many theories, but none of it makes sense. So the prosecutor has been struggling with why would Melly sporadically, after leaving, didn't look like they were in a fight. Nobody fought. They're not arguing leaving the studio. Why the hell would Melly just randomly?
So I heard this off the wall wild ass theory one time, and they were saying that Melly went to link up with some Bloods. He was on the blood shit. He went to meet like the top leader of these Bloods, and they had them pull up in like the middle of the woods or whatever. This is the story. So just let me kick this shit. This is the theory. So as they linked up, the car pulls up. Melly goes and gets in the car with the top blood nigga. One of his security guard, goon type nigga goes and gets in the car where they say Melly was seated at behind the driver, right? So everybody in the car, tired from just being at the studio, off the lane, XYZ. So all three of them was asleep. The guy sees money and watches in a bag or something and goes to take it. When he takes it, whoever was on the right-hand side woke up and saw it. He shot him, and then after he shot him, when they woke up, he shot the other nigga up. Now, as he shot them up, Melly hops out the car, runs up, asks the nigga what's going on. The nigga was about to kill Bortlen, but Melly begged for Bortlen's life. And then the top blood nigga told him, yeah, you know, y'all better fix this shit, make it look like a drive-by XYZ, and never say our name. That's why we never heard Melly say nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's why Bortlen still ain't saying nothing, because whoever these top blood niggas is, they connected like that. Now the theory was it was some type of Illuminati blood CEO ass type nigga, however the shit go. But that's the theory I heard. And it kind of fit this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of shit that's not being said, and it's like, wow. You feel me? Motive for one.
Murder his two friends. Okay. So they lack a motive. Not only they lack a motive, it becomes a little blurry because everybody else seems to be non-cooperative or is at least leaving an opening for an alibi for Melly to say, hey, it might sound suspect, but by the grace of God, randomly, while we were driving to some undisclosed place, I decided to get out of the car. So it's impossible for me to do the murder. I was in the car. Also, the statement of the guy who brought the dead bodies is that.
But also, they have Melly's phone. And they might be pressing the gas on this shit because they finally got whatever they needed out his phone. They had it for all these years, so I'm sure they stripped that bitch naked. But they definitely had Melly's phone because Melly's producer or label owner, Track 100, took it down there to him.
I was in a drive-by. There is bullet entry wounds that came from the other side. So ballistics are pretty sure, but we could argue about that. But how do you put Melly there? You have no video of Melly. The driver isn't telling on Melly. Other people who noticed his behavior or interacted with him at first, afterwards, none of them said, oh, they interviewed the people in the house that were staying because Melly did get back to the house. No one said, oh, he took his clothes off and burned it. They were all kind of, well, sounds like a mystery, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, they did a trial, and the trial came back as a mistrial. Apparently, there was one or more jurors who declined and refused to believe that Melly, beyond a reasonable doubt, killed his friends.
Because there's so much motive.
Now, usually with the mistrial, on certain circumstances and for certain type of charges or how heinous the crime is, they might not want to charge you again, or they might not want to try you again. Like, for example, I think if Diddy's thing came to a mistrial, I don't think they would do it again. Different DA, or not DA, but different U.S. attorney, different regime. They wouldn't do it again. They'd probably just, whatever.
Yeah,
right? But they could still refile it any time. So unless something else happens,
denying Diddy bail and shit, man.
The thing with Melly's case is that the idea of a man murdering his two friends sounds so heinous and so disgusting that Florida prosecutors, they've spent a lot of money, time, and energy, but they'll continue to spend more time and money and energy because they feel this is one of the most egregious crimes known to man.
Damn.
You cold-bloodedly murdered your friends sitting 2 feet from you
in the car,
suspected that they were even sleeping while you put their lights out permanently. They want Melly fried. So they're looking to try him again. Now, what are the things that they're trying to do to try to make their case better this time? Because here's the thing. Melly got better lawyers. And since he's gotten the mistrial, so you got to remember, certain people testify. Then
AK was saying, it kind of lead to what AK was saying. I wonder if he put this out before King AK-47, because Melly did fire all his lawyers and get some brand new lawyers, but I wonder if it's because of what AK was saying, because if they them high paid attorneys like that, I'm sure they could have came up with another game plan. They ain't have to use the same shit that they did last year.
Right now, remember, there's a bunch of people who are on vacation for a long time. It's hard for the prosecutor this time around. Evidence, a lot of moving parts that they probably had a better luck on the first time. It's harder now. One of the people that didn't take part in this trial initially was this guy named YNW Bortlen. The guy who would know what happened is the driver. Well, he's been elusive the entire time. They were trying to work with him, but he hasn't cracked it. He has not cracked. He's not, let me tell you who did it. None of that. They start putting a little pressure on him. They charge him with accessory for murder, hoping that would scare him. He stood 10 toes down. No.
Because we know he ain't shooting.
Let's take it a trial.
He took him to the hospital. He had no DNS on.
Before we get into the plea, it's very important.
I'm sure it was on
and this is very important, because we're going to use common sense here. Okay? It's very important to know that if you're charged with accessory to murder and the state can't even convict the guy of murder, they've tried once and they failed. It's impossible to convict you of accessory to murder if they can't even convict the murderer. So let me put it in perspective. YNW Bortlen was not going to testify, help, or whatever. They let him out on bond one time, and then they revoked his bond, and they've had him locked up since. They've been getting frustrated because they need him. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. And some of this is my opinion here. Okay. And I'll tell you what my opinion is, and I'll tell you what facts are. My opinion is they realized that the accessory for murder charge didn't scare him. They also put witness tampering on a little bit later. Okay. So what they did was they hit him with 2 murder charges, homicide charges. Okay. They trumped up their theory of Melly killed his friends to you and Melly killed y'all friends. Now, it differs from their first story they were trying to present. They claim that he was not involved in the murder. He didn't know about it. but he did help to cover it. That's why they gave him accessory after the fact.
Probably too cooked, boy, man.
Recently,
My bad.
they trumped it up to say he is just as culpable for murder, and they gave him 2 murder charges. Now, here's the thing with that. Remember what I said about Florida? If you get a murder charge or you get a conviction for first-degree murder, instant life.
Yeah.
Ain't no better way to scare somebody than say,
but you know,
we got 3 or 4 chances
crime like
to convict you of life in prison. We played this before. When the judge says, what you're facing is life in prison without parole, plus life in prison without parole. So when you're facing full life sentence plus 75 years, your tone starts to change a little bit, because accessory for murder after the fact, I believe the statute could have him being sentenced up to 20 to 30 years.
Life sentences and 75
So with that,
years.
you know, it's not a life sentence. When they threw the murders on there, that boy snapped to his senses real quick.
Hold on. Listen what I'm saying, though. Listen what I'm saying. I seen one joint, they gave a nigga some time like that, some wild shit like that, right? Sentence them to it. After you say 100 years, bitch, what is the purpose of giving this man 5 life sentences? Even if you found him guilty of all that shit, you could have just said life without the possibility of parole. Why you got to have 5 life sentences on top of fucking 75 years? That's some demoralizing ass shit.
And that boy turned from YNW Bortlen, in my opinion, to Sergio Wanatelli Kitchens. Now,
Wanatelli,
I'm going to have the plea agreement that's read out by the government, or the judge actually, play and not interject too much, because I did a decent job of leading up to this.
Yeah, no.
But at times I might need to tell you why, because I did tweet out today and people are upset. I said this is a gunner plea.
Actually,
this is a gunner plea.
Actually, both of y'all did y'all thing. King AK-47, I opened up with his content. Y'all go over there, like, comment, subscribe when y'all see this. And also, King Academics. You just cooked, man. You just cooked for real. You just barber fried that shit. Both of y'all did a great job.
This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gunner plea. What a gunner plea is
hey, fuck all that. Fuck all that, man. Imagine having a fucking snitch deal named after your ass. They call that motherfucker a gunner plea. Bruh, they got a whole system of snitching name behind this man, bruh. That's like Will Smith on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And that nigga got back to Philly and they had a chicken sandwich named after his ass. That is crazy.
You are charging us for a RICO. Now, we y'all sat here and we went over the RICO for Sean Puff Daddy Combs. Now, I get it. That's federal. This is state. But RICOs usually have about the same main components. What's a RICO? And I'm sorry I'm going this slow, but I want everybody to understand, even if you don't know nothing about the law. Okay. So a RICO, what you have to prove, a RICO is a organizational conspiracy charge. What's a conspiracy charge? It's an agreement between at least 2 people to do a crime. So you need at least 2 people to do a crime. Both of them have to know that they're doing a crime. So if you hire a nigga if you get in the Uber and you go rob a bank, you don't get hit with a RICO. The Uber driver had no fucking idea. You and your mans in them, y'all get in a car and y'all go do a crime. That would be one of the predicate offenses for a RICO. But let me explain. So you need two more people agreeing to do a crime, and you need at least 2 crimes that show a pattern of criminal activity. Do you get what I'm saying? Perfect. So when I say a gunner plea, the hardest thing for the prosecutors to prove in the RICO case against
is a gunner plea
is that
Mo, you cut on the fucking YouTube and you see a nigga naming a plea after you. Yeah. Man, it's gonna be in the hood forever. Oh, little bro had to cop out. Yeah, he took a gunner plea. Damn, what the fuck?
YSL was a enterprise. It was a criminal street gang. Okay? And that is a component as well.
Dang.
So when Gunner said
So
YSL is a gang, and they label him in the hierarchy mode as second in command, it gives them a thing that they don't have to be different crimes committed by other people. He shot this cop. He did this agreement. Do you understand how?
Yeah, we understand.
Why do I say he signed a gunner plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case. We covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually a homicide with, well, they have proved it's a homicide, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender.
I'm about to end this joint, and we're going to pick back up in 1 second. I'm about to start it right over as soon as I end this joint. End this joint, start. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah.